There's a saying, if something is so old, it's older than dirt. But what if the ballpark really is as old as the dirt that graces its baselines?
Wind is blowing directly toward center field.
Striker to the line!
Because this ballpark, Warren Ballpark in Bisbee, Arizona, is the oldest active ballpark in the United States. Today, 106 years after it was built, it's the 6th annual Copper City Classic, an event in which teams play vintage baseball. Today's guest, former major leaguer and Twins 21-game winner, and Mudcat Grant made more money singing the blues than he ever did playing Major League Baseball. Here, a ticket buys a slice of baseball history. Because sitting in these seats or stepping on this field is like stepping back in time.
It's a time capsule.
Mike Anderson is an Arizona baseball historian.
This ballpark, when one enters it, when one goes into the clubhouse, when one sits in the stands, people tell us that there's a sense that all of baseball is here with us.
It's been said you can hear the sound from steel cleats still echoing from a 1930s clubhouse.
Going through the dugout onto the field, we had one player that told us this is positively Ruthian.
In fact, many of baseball's greats once put on their minor league caps at Warren Ballpark. 16 Hall of Famers who either played, managed, or umpired stood on this very infield and counted run after run on this rusted scoreboard.
That includes Honus Wagner, Connie Mack, John McGraw,
and numerous others like Sid Cohen, who struck out the Babe, but who also surrendered his final home run.
What it does is it epitomizes what baseball was, because this was a starting point for young ball players on their way up the ladder to play in the big show. This ballpark represents the best of baseball and some of the least of baseball too.
Like Hal Chase, who after being banned for consorting with gamblers was relegated to an outlaw league, the one with the Chicago Black Sox team that threw the 1919 World Series.
If there is such a place where ghosts come out at night, it's not going to be from a cornfield in Iowa, it's going to be from these hills.
The most important historical event to happen here at Warren Ballpark had nothing to do with baseball at all.
It was the largest single action taken against organized labor in the United States.
A different type of strike took place in 1917 by the Bisbee copper miners. 2,000 workers were rounded up by Sheriff Harry Wheeler and taken to Warren Ballpark. More than half were transported and abandoned to a New Mexico settlement. They were later rescued by the U.S. Army, but were not permitted to return to Bisbee. It was known as the Bisbee deportation.
It was an important part of labor history and an important part of the First World War.
Since that time, while everything around it has changed, this southern Arizona gem has not.
If you look at photos of this part of Bisbee, Warren, it's exactly the same.
Just as today's game and its field resembles those of the turn of the 19th century. And as jubilant fans watch the dirt settle on another glorious day at Warren Ballpark, its history embraces the field, and dreams of seasons to come linger on after the final out is called.